with pressure at 2,600 pounds per square inch. One of the exchanger's plugs blew off and struck the employee.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Boss Watch, where we do basically the reverse of Last Week in Southern Labor. Last Week in Southern Labor, we take a look at what workers are up to. In Boss Watch, we take a look at what bosses were up to. And folks, it's never good. We're going to head over to Oklahoma, where 3 federal workplace safety and health investigations that followed the April 2023 death of a worker at a Tulsa manufacturing facility found that the company exposed employees to struck-by hazards and identified 36 violations, including 25 serious safety violations of U.S. Department of Labor regulations. In its initial inspection, OSHA found an employee suffered fatal injuries during a pressure testing of a heat exchanger. With pressure at 2,600 pounds per square inch, one of the exchanger's plugs blew off and struck the employee. OSHA determined that the company violated the general duty clause for not keeping its employees safe. Further inspections at the facility identified 25 serious safety violations related to the following hazards: failing to keep exit routes free from obstruction, allowing a barrel of flammable chemical to be not grounded and bonded, failing to have an energy control program or provide related training, allowing the use of powered industrial trucks, slings, and lifting devices that were not in safe operating condition, failing to install required machine guards, not ensuring electrical equipment was maintained properly and in safe operating condition, failing to provide flame-proof shields or screens, and protective eyewear to welders and their assistants. The agency has proposed a total of about $276,000 in penalties for the 3 inspections. Accurate Manufacturing Incorporated has 15 business days from the receipt of these citations to comply, request an informal conference with OSHA's area director, or contest the findings. Heading over to Louisiana, the U.S. Department of Labor's Wage and Hour Division found that Loop X LLC, a residential contractor specializing in pool construction, denied 25 workers overtime wages by paying them straight time rates for all hours worked, including hours over 40 in a work week. The division also learned the employer misclassified 3 of those employees as independent contractors, denying them eligibility of overtime and other federal benefits and protections. The agency recovered $56,000 in back wages to 25 workers. Construction workers often work long hours in tough conditions, and they deserve to be paid all of the wages they have earned. This includes overtime premiums for hours worked over 40 in a work week, explained Wage Hour District Director Troy Moten in New Orleans. We encourage all employers to review their pay practices and to reach out to the Wage and Hour Division if they have questions about their obligations. Hey, 5 seconds. Just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate. In Guam, the U.S. Department of Labor has debarred a federal subcontractor on Guam from seeking federally funded contracts after the department's Wage and Hour Division found the employer shortchanged 29 construction workers at the Marine Corps Base Camp Blas in Dadido and gave investigators falsified records. The action comes after division investigators determined that Danes Construction Corporation in Yigo violated federal regulations governing the employment of workers on projects supported by federal funds. Specifically, the division found the employer did the following: paid iron workers less than the required prevailing minimum wage rate of $14.84 per hour. They failed to pay temporary non-immigrant workers from the Philippines for all hours worked. They did not record hours worked or wages paid correctly. They paid workers straight time rates for overtime hours over 40 in a work week, and they willfully falsified payroll records, knowing they masked their record-keeping violations and failure to provide required wages. The investigation led to the recovery of $106,000 in unpaid wages, including $10,000 in damages for the 29 affected workers who were building housing units at the base. A 2015 division investigation found the same company violated federal regulations by paying employees straight time rates for overtime hours worked. The division recovered $8,000 in back wages for 17 workers affected in that case. The employer's repeated and willful violations of federal regulations led the department to assess the contractor with $6,750 in civil money penalties and to exclude them from submitting bids for federally funded projects for 3 years. Wrapping up with Virginia, the U.S. Department of Labor's Office of Federal Contract Compliance Programs has entered into a conciliation agreement with Daikin Industries to resolve alleged race-based discrimination affecting black applicants at its Verona, Virginia facility. Pursuant to the agreement, Daikin Industries agrees it will pay $100,000 in back wages and interest to 98 black applicants. Daikin will also extend 3 job offers to identified class members. A routine compliance review by the OFCCP found Daikin Industries discriminated against the 98 black applicants for assembler positions at its Daikin Applied Staunton facility from January 1st, 2020 through December 31st, 2020. You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.